Hello. As you know, this is our course on marketing management part 2 on advanced concepts of marketing management, and we are discussing brand and brand management. I am Jayanto Chatterjee and here is Professor Ssm Mishra.
Hello.
We are both from IIT Kanpur IME department. At the end of our second week, when we had discussed with you about an investigation which you need to conduct in your locality on how different new products are evolving in the food and beverage domain, we had raised one point that whether a particular soft drink, a beverage, is bought because of its flavor, because of its benefits, or because of its brand. It is that question which we will bring back in this week again and again. Dr. Mishra has already introduced to you what is brand, why we need brand, what is the concept of brand meaning, brand equity, etc. Today we will look at some strategic aspects of branding, some do's and don'ts and some situations which we will discuss to illustrate with examples the effectiveness and the need of a brand strategy. Fundamentally, we need brand because of the very mission of marketing today, which is to rise from mere transactions or sort of faceless relations to relationships which are based on recognition, based on creating a long term customer experience, ultimately which can lead to customer advocacy, where customer becomes your co-marketeer. And on this trajectory, to rise from mere transactional marketing to marketing for customer advocacy, brand is almost like our mantra or our religion, because it is the brand that sort of transfers all the innovativeness when the product or service is conceptualized into delivery parameters which make sense to the customer, thereby creating the bond over time where customer ultimately becomes your partner. So, if we look at different situations, then we know that leveraging the power of the brand name, we cover the market more effectively.
Yeah.
Because by the name, by the symbol, by the jingle, by the color, I mean take for example Coca-Cola, just the name Coke or the color or one of the jingles or slogan like Thanda Matlab Coca-Cola, all of these evoke in a capsule almost a whole host of associations.
Brand associations.
These brand associations which evoke sense of benefit or utility as well as a whole range of emotions is the power. That is the power.
Yeah.
I would like you to think, take 3 brands. What are those types of brands that you need to post in your on the forum? So, we take one brand which is say Coca-Cola, we take another brand which say Amul, and we take another brand say Godrej. And I would like you to examine in your mind that what is the meaning of each one of these brands, what types of brands are this, which you should be able to answer from the sessions that Dr. Mishra has already covered. And I would like you to go to your local shops and see the manifestations of these three brands, that is Coke, Godrej and Amul, in its various avatars. And let us have a lively discussion on the forum. This is not an assignment, but this is a voluntary input that definitely will of course get credit if you do it well, this investigative reporting. So, the point is that why we do it, why do we do branding, why do we look for these brand associations, why do we carefully craft these linkages? Because what we want a brand to be a long term story that builds relation with the customer as the product or service evolves. Because it is very expensive today to really create a brand. It takes tens, hundreds of crores to create a brand and maintain it over a long period of time. And there are already many brands out there. So, it is increasingly becoming very difficult and challenging and creative to create a brand and maintain a brand. Take for example, all the different TV shows that TV ads that are presented today. They are searching for drama, searching for humor, searching for emotion in various ways in that those few seconds to create a continuing thread in the customer's mind, which is almost like a family story, which we remember from our childhood till our old age, and those stories evoke a whole range of emotions. The brand builders, the brand masters or the brand marketers are really trying to do exactly that today. I will now take up a few cases or situations which will illustrate these various issues and it will become clearer. Say for example, your brand has a very respectable market share, but you want it to grow, right. I mean we can take for example say a particular brand of toothpaste, say Colgate, which is very famous, a dominant incumbent brand, and it is not so easy for a large brand like Colgate to increase its market share because a certain kind of inertia sets in. So, there is already
a certain kind of brand image is already existing about Colgate.
Right, and Colgate has originally created it on the promise of health
benefits,
and on the it is therefore it is almost an utilitarian brand.
Absolutely.
Whereas there are new brands which are challenging it, be it the Dabur Red or be it various other kinds of herbal.
This new Patanjali's Dant Kranti and all, they are a big time.
Absolutely. I mean they are trying to nibble at this huge position. On the other hand, it is not only a defensive need, but Colgate also has an expansion need. It needs to grow its volume like any other brand. It needs more revenues, it needs more profitability. In this situation, what we do is that we start looking at precise needs. So, today therefore, you will see we have a Colgate Herbal, we have Colgate with salt, Colgate with certain specific agents that helps during the sensitivity problem of teeth. So, by doing this, what Colgate is doing is, it is leveraging its first brand equity, which is Colgate, and then it is trying to create different types of sub brands within that umbrella brand, so that it covers every new challenge that it is facing.
Yeah.
Herbal and ethnic challenge, it creates Colgate Herbal. So, sub brands or associated brands are often therefore needed to face challenges for a large brand, but it is also a way to create new positions when a new company comes into the picture.
I'll just probably add something. What you are, is it a part of a usual evolution of a brand that which was of mass market appeal initially, the major part of its initial years or decades. So Colgate was a mass market brand. Now what happens as a market evolves, so the customers within a health segment start realizing their need, whether they need basically a herbal product or whether they have a sensitive teeth, and that is where this, since they already have this position or the brand image of a health brand or a health benefit brand, they can cater to those needs better by offering the specific sub segment or sub brand, or you can say niches within that, and go and cater to the needs better, and the customers will be able to relate better with Colgate than any newer brand, as you said, because they already have certain kind of equity in the brand. So leveraging that is possible with Colgate. And
so therefore, as you are very right that uh, uh, it becomes, as the product evolves or as the category evolves or as the industry evolves, it is not always easy to maintain a mass brand which is like one size fits all.
yeah,
That is the stage when you need to create different faces of the same package, highlighting a particular benefit.
so you
So
have
that you
health
are
benefits, and then within health benefit you have this herbal
sensitivity, or you have this herbal benefits, you have benefits with
whitening
respect
of
to,
teeth, and
or it fresh breath,
Fresh
or gum health,
Yeah.
and so on. So, all of that put together is healthy teeth or healthy mouth.
Yeah.
But then you are creating particular segments almost to address a very specific need. Now, when we do this sub branding, one approach is like Colgate, we can say Colgate Herbal, Colgate Salt, Colgate Sensitivity, or Colgate with mint, or Colgate in gel, and so on. We see that in many other, for example, in shoes, famous Nike brand. So, Nike Air Jordan, or the Nike is the is the parent brand, and then we have this sub brands. Or Apple is a very good example. So, we have Apple is the parent brand. Under that we have Apple iPod, iPod mini, iPod shuffle, iPod nano, then continue with iPhone, iPhone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so we can write the whole story now, maybe 100 and beyond as days go by. And there are brands where the original parent brand has survived like Colgate for decades and decades. But in some cases some a little modification is necessary, and that is, for example, Coca-Cola is often also resorts to use of Coke. So, which is a little modification of its original name. And Coca-Cola reminds me also that sometimes the sub branding or reincarnation may not work very well. So, everybody knows the story that first, of course, it is rumored that Coca-Cola might have engineered the whole issue, that there was Coca-Cola and they bought in something called New Coke, and there was a lot of reaction to that. Customers wanted the old Coke back, and there came the old Coca-Cola in its original form, etc. And thereby it kind of rejuvenated the customer interest and the folklore about Coca-Cola. So, therefore, branding, sub branding, parent brand, sub brands, different approaches to creation of sub brands brings us to again this little more explanation on this parent brand or umbrella brand. So, when all these sub brands are linked to the main brand, then that is what we are calling an umbrella brand, and umbrella brands of course has the umbrella concept has more power. So, it can actually remaining within the transportation category. So, Ford Icon, Ford EcoSport, Ford Ranger, these are all different types of sub brands that can be created, or Maruti Swift, Baleno, etc. That can be done, but also sometimes these, instead of just using independent. So, as you can see here, we have a little two approaches. One is Baleno, it does not say Maruti Baleno, whereas in its initial branding Maruti said Maruti 800. The word Maruti was again and again emphasized. These days, now that Suzuki has the major share, the name Maruti is not that emphasized, it is always there, but Baleno is trying to create by itself a brand. It has even it has its own distribution channel called what is that, Nexa, so that therefore it is possibly over a long run.
The up segment in this car market, the Maruti is trying to create its different channel actually, because they do not want to mix that middle or the entry segment with the upper segment, because Maruti has traditionally that image that it's a car of a people's car kind of thing, like mass market, and if they want to enter into the upscale
luxury market. So, possibly they are kind of trying to learn from the strategy of Toyota, where Toyota with Lexus and all, they had experimented with this separate distribution channel, the separate kind of service promise, the separate kind of treatment for the customer, etc., etc. Now, we can go to another situation where the brand has a respectable market share. There is lot of new challenge, new competition, and you want to protect. So, in this case, obviously one good strategy is expand the market. So, you have a market, your brand dominates, other people are attacking. One option is of course to respond to them. So, there are herbal manufacturers who are harping on that particular Indian ethnicity. So, Colgate responds with Colgate Herbal or Colgate Clove Oil, etc. But the other option is that to expand the scope of the original brand. As a brand leader, and the power, since you have that brand power, you can expand your basket of offering. That is another way, or you can create flanker brands, which will be protecting you from these people who are trying to eat into your. So, you create defense mechanisms.
One of the good example of this flanker brand in India is this Tide being launched by PNG. So, to protect the position of this Ariel,
correct, absolutely,
up segment, and there were a lot of brands which were coming at the low price product premium and challenging some of the position of that. So, they came out with this Tide, and Tide is one of the most successful brands.
Very good example. So, which shows that either you can, like Maruti, create Baleno, which is the luxury brand,
upstretch.
So, you can go upwards, and you can go to from conventional or utilitarian brand to more hedonistic luxury brand, aspirational positioning, or you can go and protect your side or lower side of the market, which is the PNG Tide is a good example of that. So, that the market which is cannot be addressed by Ariel because of its cost structure or because of its brand image, you create another flanker brand to do that. So, flanker brand therefore are different brand name, but the
Yeah.
product is the same. It is
Yeah.
the same.
The core benefit, the core constituent remains same.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
it is detergent,
Yeah.
but you create a different name, so that you actually you compete against such brands whom you do not want to recognize as your
Yeah, yeah,
competitor,
yeah.
but yet you do not want to fall prey to a sort of complacency, and you want to protect your lower side, you want to create opportunities at the upside, and so on.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if you create a lower priced different name in the same market, so therefore, if you actually create Tide, to some extent the market share of Ariel will be cannibalized,
Cannibal.
but it is better that you cannibalize your own market than
Yeah.
somebody else does.
And I think there is one thing, that the chances of people going from Ariel to Tide will, some consumers may try that, but overall if you look at the thing, like a customer who begins to try with the Tide, and as probably you see in the Indian economy that the income levels are rising, and probably the aspirations are also rising. So, maybe there are quite a good chances that a person who has tried or using Tide will move upwards toward the Ariel. In that way, you are able to basically acquire and retain the customer, and if it goes to the other competitor at the beginning,
Absolutely.
then that is your loss, and probably you will never be able to get that customer.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good point. And I want to close today's discussion with another type of flanker branding, and that could be like this example of Thumbs Up and Coca-Cola in India. So, Coca-Cola is a global brand. It has certain brand properties which it cannot dilute, like for example, its taste, its experimentation with different level of sweetness. So, you have Coke, you have sub brand Coke Zero, you have Light, but there may be a different kind of taste altogether, which has a particular appeal in a particular culture or in a particular geography. Like Thumbs Up, originally people say that Coca-Cola purchased that brand basically to kill it.
Yeah. They
they-
did try that.
Yes, but then they found that Thumbs Up with its zing or whatever, which means basically I think high sugar content or certain other chemicals that gives you a kind of a kick. So it is kind of a lower priced energy drink. So, it is not exactly the Red Bull, but it has some of the properties of the Red Bull. Now, then you understand that this is a particular kind of appeal which is very valid in India, which is a large market for soft drinks, and therefore, you retain that brand. And you understand that maybe there is a small percentage of Coke market which is eaten up by Thumbs Up, but in reality you actually cater to an almost entirely different kind of market, which is normally not the Coke drinker. So, Coca-Cola, instead of killing the brand, they
Acquired Thumbs Up.
they put resources in Thumbs Up brand, because they understood that there are large number of Thumbs Up drinkers who would prefer Thumbs Up as opposed to Coke. They must have been very surprised. They might have at that time, from their sense of superiority, they might have thought, oh, Coke, that will be better than anything else. But they understood that they had an asset and not something they need to kill. So, that is how Thumbs Up became a flanker brand, which purpose of which is not exactly to protect the lower segment, because the price wise both may be sold at the same price. It is to protect another type of market sentiment, taste, emotion, and that is why you will see Thumbs Up is really sold on some kind of promise which is very hard to define, this Tufani and this Masti and all that kind of thing. So, it is to protect a certain kind of taste, certain kind of emotion, a certain kind of customer preference. You can create a flanker brand like Thumbs Up to Coca-Cola. So, we will end our today's session here, and we will continue from on the same theme, but with different cases tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.